now to former President Donald Trump speaking outside the courtroom.
I'm supposed to be in New Hampshire. I'm supposed to be in Georgia. I'm supposed to be in North Carolina, South Carolina. I'm supposed to be in a lot of different places campaigning. But I've been here all day on a trial that really is a very unfair trial. These are all stories. This is over the last few days from legal experts. This is Wall Street Journal editorial. But all of these are stories from legal experts saying how this is not a case. The case is ridiculous. There's another one. The case is a ridiculous Trump indictment. It's missing fraud. There is no fraud. All of these stories are stories of how, and these are done by the experts, and editorials. Bragg falsified business record, and he falsifies them. He's the one. He's the fraud. But take a look at all of these are stories. You see them here. Bragg's indictment even falls as an indictment. All of them. Bragg crosses the Rubicon, indicting Trump on nonsense. The whopping outrage in Trump's indictment. It's a whopping outrage, and it is an outrage. Everybody's outraged by it. You know, we had 18 DA or DA types or close. 18 or 19 or 21, they counted all them in and out like, and in the meantime, you have murders going on right outside in New York. Look at this National Review, another National Review. Jonathan Turley, Greg Jarrett, Andrew McCarthy. Every one of them saying they call it a zombie case, meaning it is no case. And they say, is it constitutional? They don't think the case is. These are all stories that have taken place over the last few days. Take a look at this. D.A. Bragg wants us to believe that his pursuit of Trump isn't political. Of course it's political. And they're doing it for Biden. They're doing this for Joe Biden. Even the Rolling Stone, no friend of mine, they don't like, it says, they don't like Bragg's chances on this case. It's a disgrace. That's a nice headline. I'd like to read that one too. But every one of them lies about the case. Justice is on trial. You know, the whole world is watching this New York scam. The trial spectacle begins. That's Wall Street Journal. It's a spectacle. Every one of these. America is a third world country. Daily Caller. Wow. That's New York Magazine even. All of them. They just came out. These are all, every single one. I haven't seen one that says it's a good trial. It's political. This is a Wall Street Journal editorial. And it's a shame. It's a shame. And I'm sitting here for days now, from morning till night, in that freezing room. Freezing. Everybody was freezing in there. And all for this. And this is your result. Look at that. Each one of them is a story. And it's very unfair. Very bad thing. Very bad thing. The whole world is watching this hoax. You got a DA that's out of control. You have a judge that's highly conflicted. The whole thing is a mess, and you have the leading candidate and leading crooked Joe Biden by a lot. He's the one that should be in trial. He's a crook. You got a crooked president. He should be in trial with all the stuff he's done and his family. He should be in trial. But he's the one in charge. His top people are here, working with the DA's office to make sure everything goes right. But it shouldn't go right because they have no case. And that's what this is all about. And it really is a shame. This country is devolving into a third world country between having no borders, having no justice, we have no justice, and having a press that doesn't want to cover the facts. So thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
I'm pissed. I'm sorry. I'm looking at a man who's being absolutely tortured. This is wrong, dead wrong. This is not the America I grew up in. This is not the America that I love. This is not the America that my father came over from Jamaica 80 or 85 years ago. They are doing nothing but trying to injure, embarrass, defame, and break this man, in addition to wanting to put him in jail. How much can one man be expected to take? I hope y'all been following this crap show and you're getting pissed as well. I know Donald Trump is a fighter. He's always been a fighter. But this isn't a fair fight. And actually, it's worse than the 2020 election. And then you have to remember, he still has to deal with Letitia James. He still has to deal with Fannie Willis. He still has to deal with Jack Smith. He's going to be doing this for probably the next year, if not longer. Donald Trump needs your continued prayer. And this country needs your continued prayer. Evil is running amok. There is no other explanation. Donald Trump, at this point, you have to agree, cannot fight this alone. We as a country will not survive if this stuff continues. We absolutely need God's intervention. As I've said many times, if you're a praying person, keep praying. If you're not a praying person, now would be a good time to start. Even right now, if you're happy with what you're seeing happen to Donald Trump, if you're gloating, if you think this is what he deserves, please understand me. Listen very closely. The evil one will not spare you because you hate Donald Trump. You don't know it, but you're just being used. Y'all who believe me, put an amen in the comments because some of these people need some serious educating. I found an old video from Alvin Bragg. I gotta show it to you because it's absolutely going to blow your mind. It's disgusting.
I'm the candidate in the race who has the experience with Donald Trump. I was the chief deputy in the attorney general's office. We sued the Trump administration over 100 times for the Muslim travel ban,
Think about what he just said. This was made when he was running for his office that he's in right now. So this was way back in 2021. 3 years ago, this is who Alvin Bragg was. He had already been involved, self-admitted, in over 100 lawsuits against Donald Trump. He has been on Donald Trump's heels forever.
Family separation at the border, for shenanigans with the census. So I know how to litigate with him. I also led the team that did the Trump Foundation case.
I mean, seriously, this guy has been all over trying to take down Trump. And understand, before he became the DA, he was working on someone else's orders. Somebody else was telling him, hey, get out there and do this.
So I'm ready to go wherever the facts take me and to inherit that case. And I think, it'd be hard to argue with the fact that that'd be the most important, most high profile case. And I've seen him up front and seen the.
So this is going to be the most high profile case he's ever worked on. That shouldn't be the criteria for picking a case.
Lawlessness that he can do.
And you believe it should happen?
I believe we have to hold them accountable. So yeah, you are right. We got two standards of justice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein. Being a rich old white man has allowed you to fade accountability.
There you go right there. There you go right there. A rich old white man like Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein. Donald Trump's just another white old rich man that you have to, Mr. DEI here, attack.
Accountability in Manhattan. That includes Trump and his children. So I've seen a pattern.
And his children. So this guy doesn't have any case, doesn't have any laws that they've broken, but said back in 2021, 3 years ago, I'm going to go after him. He says the same thing that Letitia James said. He said the same thing that Fannie Willis said.
Of lawlessness over 20 years. And so I'm inclined to believe all I see in the public domain.
Oh, okay, hold on a second. So what he just said means he was prejudiced against Donald Trump. I'm not talking from a racial point of perspective. Everything I've seen, I'm inclined to believe that he's, broken the law. Not a shred of fact. He just said, I'm inclined to believe that Donald Trump is breaking the law. And that has been the basis of everything that he has done, everything that Letitia James has done, Fannie Willis has done. They just wanted to find something, anything that they could do to take down Trump.
And know that there's, and believe that there's a path forward there to make.
I believe there's a path forward there. Remember, this is before he even took office. This is before he was even elected to be the DA. This is back in 2021, and he's talking about what he believes. Can you believe that? That to me was stunning. They installed a puppet, but believe me, he's not running anything. He's just the affirmative action DEI hire that they installed to be the face of things. As Trump said earlier, and as he said many times, this is all being run, coordinated by the puppet masters at the White House. You have to remember that. So today they seated 12 jurors with one alternate. They still have 5 alternates to go, but it was a complete farce. More than half of the jury pool was excused or eliminated because they said they could not be impartial. They could not be fair. Over half of the people who came in said, nah, I can't do this. 57 out of the 96 people in the jury pool self-identified as not being capable of being impartial towards Donald Trump. And you know the ones that they seated are merely pawns. Listen to what one of Trump's attorneys, Alina Habba, said about jury selection.
You know, the truth is these jurors are human beings. They have biases. And what was troubling in this case is that while we're doing jury selection starting today, one of the things that the judge here, Judge Merchan, would not allow us to ask was whether or not they voted for a Republican or a Democrat, whether or not they voted for President Trump, whether or not they work for the Biden administration. You know, there's people that when I was doing the jury selection in the Carroll case, were working currently for the Biden campaign. And I didn't want those people sitting on a jury for President Trump. And but you have the right to ask those questions. Now, this judge has eliminated many of those questions. You're not allowed to ask who they voted for. You can ask what news they watch. But I watch CNN and I watch Fox because I like to know what my opposition's saying. So it doesn't tell you what the status is. Now, when you're sitting with a president and a current nominee for the GOP, and you can't ask how you vote, you're shot in the foot right there. And you're in New York, which is a predominantly blue state. So, you know, that hindrance in itself is problematic just from the get-go.
And then today, a woman, juror number 4, I think was her number, not really sure, who just became a legal American citizen, said that she felt that she couldn't go further. This is after she was appointed or basically selected to be on the jury. She went home, got some phone calls from family, got some pressure, came back, called the judge and say, hey, I'm out of here. I can't do this. Listen to this juror. See if you can figure out which way she was leaning. In either event, she's off the case. So let's listen to what she had to say.
I do. This is Kat. She runs a VC fund here in Manhattan for folks.
Okay, in case you didn't hear that, she runs a VC, investment banking venture capitalist fund in New York City. Venture capitalist fund in New York City. That's very interesting.
That are over 60 years of age. She was just...
Oh, and her fund basically caters to people 60 years and older. That's very interesting.
Dismissed as a potential juror. What happened? Why were you dismissed?
Because I couldn't be impartial.
You couldn't be impartial. So when the judge asked that hand, can you be impartial? You raised your hand and you said you cannot.
Exactly.
Wow. When did you first come?
On Tuesday.
On Tuesday. And at that point, when did you realize that this was a trial involving the ex-president of the United States, Donald Trump?
So we were here on Tuesday from 9 a.m.
Yeah.
But we realized that it's about this case on 4 p.m. We went into the courtroom and we saw Donald Trump.
You went into the courtroom at 4 p.m. on Tuesday and you see Donald Trump.
Yeah, we didn't know before that.
What was your first thought?
I was shocked. I was sitting on the second row, like 6 feet away. And when I realized that Trump is there, I was like, oh, wow. I couldn't believe it.
What about the people around you?
Everybody was shocked. Everybody was frozen. Frozen, no expressions, nothing. We were all, that was the case.
Did he look back at you? Did any of the attorneys look back at you at that time?
Sometimes Trump would turn.
Wonder why they were shocked. They had to have seen the massive amounts of security around the courthouse. So you show up at the courthouse and there's basically military-like security all around the courthouse. You had to know walking in, this isn't a usual case, huh? I would know that walking in.
His head, but that was it, he didn't stand up or anything.
Were you following the case before this?
I didn't really. I'm too busy.
You're too busy.
You believe that? You're too busy to know what the former president and potential future president of this country was going to be doing in New York at this trial. Do you believe that?
Busy, but you knew he was on trial, or you knew he was going to trial.
Yeah, just the headlines, but too busy to read the details.
Have you ever served as a juror before?
No, that's my first time because I just became a citizen in August.
Yeah.
She just became a citizen in August. She just went through the legal procedure of becoming a citizen in August. So we have an investment banker, just so you understand here, we have an investment banker that caters to a 60-year-old plus market who just got through the process of becoming a U.S. citizen through the front door, the legal way, the way my dad did. Who do you think she might have been for? Who do you think, given that little bit of history that you just heard, she may have been for? I don't know. I can't say for sure. You know what I'm thinking.
And that was my first call. And
so you just became a citizen of the United States. So that means you've never voted in a presidential election.
Exactly.
You get called to be a juror. And this is the jury that you are called to.
Yes.
What was that? Is unbelievable. That is unbelievable.
I'm telling you, you wouldn't be able to pry me off that jury. If I walked in there, but then again, they'd exclude me right off the bat. They'd look at a couple YouTube videos. Oh no, this you got to go.
Unbelievable.
I know.
What was your impression of Donald Trump when you saw him?
He looked less orange. Definitely, like more yellow.
He looked less orange. This is where we are in America. This woman is an investment banker. She handles money for people over the age of 60. So what was your first impression of the former president and potential future president? Well, he looked less orange. We are actually absolutely less orange, more yellow. That was her first impression. Let me ask you, you walk into a meeting. You don't know who the people are going to be in the meeting. And all of a sudden you see everyone turning their head and it's the president of the United States. I don't care if it's poo-poo diaper Joe, you're still going to be like, whoa, the president is here. The former president is here. Has the office of the presidency basically just devolved to where it usually looks a little bit less orange, maybe a little bit yellow? That's what you thought? You didn't think to yourself, wow, this guy's name is all over a ton of buildings here in New York City. Wow, I'm an investment banker and this guy has basically been the epitome of investment banking in New York City. And the first thing that comes to your mind is he looks a little less orange, maybe yellow. Call it a day. America is doomed. Why did you become a citizen? Whew, man, I cannot even believe that she said that. But in any event, she's off the jury. So what do you think? Was she a Trump person or was she a lib person? I don't want to look at her hairstyle or anything else, but there's no way we're going to know at this point because she just became a citizen. She probably doesn't have a big social presence online. I think I could have rolled my chips with her, which is why she was on the jury. And then she decided after going home and getting some calls, hey, I can't do this. They tracked me down. I'm out. Who tracked her down? Who got to her and said, get off this jury? Who got to her and said, hey, listen, I know you became a citizen a little while ago. It'd be terrible if all of a sudden that was revoked. She's an easy mark. She's an easy person to go after. You're involved in investment banking. We're going to have to open up your books and see what we can find here. We're going to look at every wire transfer, every check, every depository account. We're going to look at everything. Still want to be on a jury? Oh, okay. Then we're going to look at your citizenship papers. And we're going to make sure those citizenship papers, every single T is crossed, every single I is dotted, and if anything is wrong, you may have to go back to wherever you came from. She was an easy mark. She got on the jury, which means Trump's people had to approve her. Even if there was an objection from the prosecutorial team, they let her get on the jury. All right, you're on. She goes home, gets some phone calls. Sound fishy to you? Definitely sounds fishy to me.
Just wondering, as we're talking about this idea of duty, right, and this idea of being fair and impartial, do you feel like the people that you were speaking with in that jury room that you sat with all day on Tuesday, that they can put together a fair and impartial jury because of that sense of duty? Do you think that's possible?
I'm not sure about that.
At this point, I don't put anybody above anything to do everything they have to do to get Trump put in jail. But after she left the jury, and after the other guy who found out they had a criminal record, he was expunged and told to go away, this judge, this corrupt judge, did the unthinkable. He actually proved how corrupt of a judge he really is. Listen to this.
Today, Judge Merchan, after we lost one juror, directed the press to refrain from writing about anything you observe with your eyes. Wait, does this...
Okay, so there's this thing that we used to have in this country that's diminishing by the day called the First Amendment. And this guy said, okay, the reporters in the room, hey, Maggie Haberman, you too, you can't write about anything that you see with your eyes. Understand what he just said? You can observe something happening. You are a reporter. You're an individual. You're a blogger. And you've just been told nothing you see here can you talk about. I'm not a party to this case. I have a First Amendment right to say whatever I want. Okay, so you may revoke my credentials, but I'm not going to let you just tell me what I can't write about, even if I see it with my own eyes or hear it with my own ears. But that's what he said today.
Does this mean that if a reporter sees a juror rolling her eyes when Trump's attorney gets up to object to something, that reporter can't disclose the eye rolling in his reporting?
Nope,
that's something he
can't do
sees
it.
with his eyes, after all. Would that qualify as jury tampering if Trump mentioned that eye rolling without identifying the juror by name?
Sound like America to you? Have you ever heard of a judge telling people to ignore what you see with your eyes and what you hear with your ears? Do not write about it. You are no longer a reporter. You are now one of my subjects.
Now, one would think that our press would strenuously object to overbroad orders by this judge, given that it implicates their First Amendment rights, the right to freedom of the press. But no. Instead, the media, for the most part, are falling right in line behind Merchan and keeping their eye on the prize, putting Trump in jail.
Bingo.
Precisely because he's an ex-president, and not actually go lightly because he's an ex-president.
Yeah.
But it's even more incumbent on the court in this process to hold Trump accountable. And I don't think fines are going to do it. I think he needs to sit in a cell and ponder the consequences of trying to routinely undermine the rule of law and the judiciary, while also, intimidating all of these average citizens who are part of this process. He should be put in a cell and contemplate his behavior.
I dare Judge Merchan to do that. I dare any of you libnuts on MSNBC to encourage the judge to do that. I double dog dare you to put Donald Trump in contempt, in jail for contempt. I dare you. There is no way the American people, there's no possible way, unless this country's already gone, would stand for you putting Donald Trump in jail for saying something.
But it's clear that the regime media is not entirely comfortable where this might end up.
Juror number 2, an investment banker, has a master's. He follows Trump's Truth Social posts.
Now understand what he just said. Juror number 2 is an investment banker who follows Trump's Truth Social posts. It's not a he. We just saw who she was. Jake Tapper didn't even know who that was. This woman did an interview. That's her. She was a Trump supporter. Somebody got to her. You understand what you just heard at this point? Not only is she an investment banker, not only is she doing something for investors and people over the age of 60, not only is she new legalized citizen in New York City, she is also on Truth Social watching Donald Trump. They couldn't have that. Somebody got to her.
He also follows Michael Cohen on Twitter, and he's also read The Art of the Deal. The fact that he has Truth Social is interesting. Now, I'm on Truth Social, but I'm a journalist, and I need to keep track of what Donald Trump is saying. The fact that a common person, real person, citizen has.
Wait. The fact that, listen to what he just said. The fact that you commoners are on Truth Social. Why would you bother being on Truth Social? Why is it any of your business why we're on Truth Social? Why is it any of your business if we're on Facebook? Why is it any of your business if we're on Twitter? Why are you questioning why somebody would be on Truth Social? Why is anybody on TikTok? That just told you everything about this media. They feel they are above you. You are down here somewhere. You're a commoner, just an individual, just a regular person, a normie. Me, Jake Tapper, I'm sitting here on CNN. I'm the one who should be on Truth Social because, hey, after all, I'm a journalist. You have to listen to what I have to say. Hey, Jake, it doesn't work like that anymore. I'm sorry to tell you. I want to be the one to inform you. You need to stick that. We all now have platforms. Before I started talking so much about Trump, I was getting more views than your television show. Understand, we don't need the mainstream media anymore. And as you just heard, they don't want you looking for alternative forms of information. It's absolutely insane what's going on. And it's just a byproduct, and it actually underscores the insanity of this trial. What that judge did is completely indicative of how bad they want to shut us all up. They've come for me. You may be next. By now, I hope you're as pissed as I am about what happened today. Trump doesn't deserve this, and our country doesn't deserve it. It's time to take a stand. And if you don't take a stand, come November or shortly thereafter, the America and the American way of life that you're used to is going to be over. But until then, pray and stay strong. Don't forget, click right here. On Saturday, I am going to do my first live broadcast of a Trump rally, and I'd love for you to hang out and interact and get some commentary and go back and forth. I think it'll be a fun time. I used to do it when I broadcasted football games. It was a lot of fun. Got a lot of interaction, thousands and thousands of comments, and I think this is going to be even bigger. So do me a favor, if you'd like to join me and a bunch of other people, click the link to be notified as soon as I go live. 6:30 Saturday, broadcasting the Trump rally from Wilmington, North Carolina. I won't be in Wilmington, I'll be sitting here, but we'll be watching the rally together. Talk to you soon. Things are getting crazy out there. Pray up.